So one thing that you mentioned in your blog post is that it's really important to have like a compatible, like libido with your partner if you want to maintain a long-term healthy romantic relationship. So what does that mean? Like, can you go a bit deeper on that? Like, how do you actually figure out what your libido is, and how do you know if your partner has like a compatible libido?
Yes. So you can basically divide libido into three stages.
Hmm.
The stage of arousal, the stage of the act itself, and the stage of orgasm. If you and your partner are compatible in all three,
Hmm.
how do you say, in all three stages of in all three components, then you are compatible. And if you are incompatible somewhere, it will show, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible to fix. So again, I would say that the best fit is when couples coincide and match in these three dimensions.
Okay, orgasm, act, and like having arousal, right?
And arousal, yes.
Arousal. Yeah. Okay. So can we go, like a bit deeper on each one, and then kind of gain more clarity on like what each aspect means?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I will be able to tell it as a lecture,
No
but we
problem.
can
No problem. I
discuss
know.
it.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. No worries. No
Yeah,
worries at all. Yeah. 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 So we can start with like the arousal, then to the act, and then to the
yes,
orgasm. Yeah.
exactly. What does arousal include? It includes us being relaxed, wanting our partner, being open to the act itself, and generally being aroused by our partner. So for different people, the length of arousal can vary. Some people get aroused immediately, and in this case, gender does play a role because men tend to
Yeah.
get aroused much more faster and easily, and without too much stimuli.
Hmm.
Whereas women might require more time, more preparation, more relaxation, more safety involved in it. So when I mention compatibility in the arousal stage, it doesn't mean that the couple has to get aroused in the same way. It's totally okay if we understand and respect each other's needs and we can satisfy them. That also means that the couple is compatible on the stage of arousal. And of course, the stage of arousal, like a sexual act in itself, it's supposed to bring pleasure. If we are talking about it in a casual way, yes, it's something that enriches a couple's life. Uh, so you cannot skip this stage and get pleasure from other stages. It's a very important stage. So again, the compatibility here transpires from the two people being able um, to enjoy themselves also at the stage of arousal. And
Hmm.
again, for that, we need to know what excites our partner.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So it seems like, just having a good understanding of what gets your partner like aroused, and also how long it takes, right? Because obviously for women, it takes a bit longer, more like foreplay needed, and more of like a connection. For guys, it's, like within like 5 minutes, it's like right away, right? So just having a good understanding of that dynamic makes it easier for
Yeah.
people to understand each other.
Yes, well, we know that the whole porn industry mostly
Yeah.
panders to men. Also,
Yeah.
due to its because it's something very fast,
It
right? You
is.
can go on any side, for some people, and if we are talking about women, for many women, arousal might start at a much earlier stage, at a totally pre-sexual stage.
Hmm.
For example, a person might need a date. A person might need an attention, an undivided attention before actually getting to the sexual part. And all that plays a very important part in the arousal, and it's especially prevalent in women. more so than in men. So if the man, a specific man, understands that his partner, if we're talking about women here, gets aroused in this way, that she needs an attention, she needs to feel that she is being nourished and respected, and I mean emotionally, and maybe he brings her some flowers. All that plays a very important role in arousal for some women, and lucky are those guys who understand it and are able to, to follow it, to follow these unspoken rules.
Definitely, definitely. Okay,
And also,
so
I also want
yeah,
to mention that for some people, the arousal starts from the clean sink. If there are no dishes to
really.
wash, and no laundry to do, and the floor is clean, and the children, for those who have them, are fed and have gone to sleep, for them it might play a very important role in the arousal stage.
Huh. Okay. Okay. So there has to be like a lot of, communication to really, I guess, understand this, right? Okay.
Yes.
So let's go on to the section where you talk about, the act of sex when it comes down to having a compatible libido, right? Yeah. So can you go a bit deeper on that?
Yes, it's when two people do what they like, do to one another what they like, and they enjoy themselves in the process.
Got it.
Again, here it doesn't mean that the two persons have to be born with the understanding, with the innate understanding on what has to be done during the sexual intercourse. It's totally okay to communicate these needs and to learn them as the relationship progresses. Therefore, for many couple, sex life improves as it matures, as the relationship advances, and so they learn about one another, they understand one another better, and so they can satisfy one another better during sex itself.
Got it. Okay. So it's like for this part, it's more about like the style of sex, right? Or like how you like to take part in sexual activity, like certain things that you like within the act, I guess. And then that you will find out as you do engage in it, right? It's hard to just sit there and try to imagine it. You can try, but most of the time, like you will figure it out as time goes on, right? So,
Yeah, yes,
mhm,
sure. In addition to that, some people explore their sexual preferences during sex itself, or during the relationship with
mhm.
a specific person. It's not like they come with the manual on what has to be done for them to, to enjoy sex. So it's totally okay to discover oneself during the length of the relationship, and with different partners it might also come differently. We learn different things about ourselves.
Got it. Okay, and then we talk about the orgasm, right? So like, what does that mean in terms of having like a compatible libido?
That's a great question to which I don't have an immediate answer.
Hmm.
But again, let's fantasize. Since we are in the field of sex, let's
Yeah,
fantasize about this this subject.
no problem.
Of course, not any sexual act has to end with an orgasm.
Hmm.
For either women or for men, again, it's a preference, and many people they practice sexual life without necessarily reaching orgasm, and you have different spiritual practices which in which orgasm is not reaching orgasm is this how to say, the highest point of sex, not namely not reaching orgasm.
Really?
But let's say if two partners are capable of experiencing orgasm, and nothing stops them from that, which means that they can relax, they can open up to one another, and they enjoy the sexual act, the whole sexual act, so they are able to finish and with the orgasm. I would say that it means this this signifies this compatibility on the orgasmic level.
Got it. Okay. Now, how do you?
Again,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
I just want, yeah, to add something, that
Yeah.
not all people are capable of experiencing orgasm, and some people totally adapt to it, and totally um, adapt their sex life so that they get satisfaction without actually experiencing orgasm. Because again, sexuality is a complex things is a
Yeah.
complex thing. It's about emotions, it's about biology, it's about compatibility, it's about communication, and so on. So I think that the two most important stages of sexual compatibility is the stage of arousal and what comes before it and during it, and the
Yeah.
the stage of actually having a good quality intimate sexual act during which two people are satisfied.
Got it. Okay, now how do you like how would you know, if this person that you think that, you're going to engage in a long-term romantic relationship with, how do you know if your like libido is compatible? Like is it just through talking and asking questions, or like do you actually have to engage in that kind of sexual activity, for a while to really understand? Like how would you actually know? Cuz sometimes you can ask the question but then they might lie. Like you know what I mean? So like how do you actually know that?
You don't know that until you try. And
Got
even
it.
if it looks
Yeah.
very promising, even if both of you have high expectations and you want it so much, you don't know how it will come out at the end. So without actually trying, you will not know it. But I also want to say that many people do not place special interest in the sexuality in sexuality in their relationships. It plays a role, but not the most significant role.
Yeah.
And for this category of people, even if sex isn't great, their relationship still can be great. But on the other end, there are people who place a a lot of weight on the subject of sexuality. So, of course, for such people, sexual compatibility will play an extremely important part in a relationship. But I don't think that it plays the most important part, because if people are able to communicate, if people have a good um, personal relationship, if they have a good friendship, if they respect one another, you can improve sex, even if it's not great initially.
Got it.